Sitting here at work, lunchtime. We're getting this storm out of the north, and then the storm from the hurricane will be here tomorrow. I think they're calling for a total of, I don't know, 4 inches or something the next few days. But I was talking to a guy about we see dogs that we produced in pedigrees with other people's names on them, and I talked to him about how it's how we view our dogs. We have White Diamondback that's from Frank, so it's Roca's White Diamondback, same as Pacwa. Now we call White Diamondback Gus. You'll see me talk about Gus at times. And the pedigree, generally if I'm referring to that dog, it's also known as Gus. The pedigree has Frank's name on it. It has his registered name, and I'm not sure if his pedigree has a call name on it or not. I'm not sure if I put that on there. But it's always an afterthought that it's Stone Shark Kennels Gus, Stone Shark Kennels Pacwa, Stone Sharks Melbourne. Those are always afterthoughts. We give the breeder his credit because he produced the dog. And anything, when we make a breeding, that's just it. It's a breeding that we've made. And in some cases, it's a breeding no individual person or kennel can make on their own. When we stuck Diamondback over Lily, that's something that no one person can do. So it's, and then you see, like I said, we see our dogs with other people's names on it, and he asked me why they would do that, and it's about, a sexier name in front of the dog, and a more known name in front of the dog, and then it looks like they produced the dog as opposed to us. Now, I did see a pedigree from a guy who put his name in front of our production, and he actually has the dog's registration number and registered name wrote down now, which is awesome. We appreciate it, but he still doesn't have our name down. He still has his name down. And we talked about it, and it came down to respect. And the amount of respect that, there's a big culture today that respect is earned. And I grew up in an era where if I didn't say thank you and please and yes ma'am and no sir, even if we were out to eat at a restaurant, if I disrespected the waiter or waitress, if I disrespected the guy picking up our trash, I got my ass beat. That's just the way it was. Either right there, then and there. Generally, though, it was after, at home. Get my hide tanned for being a disrespectful punk. So respect is something that is given, as far as I'm concerned. Until it's proven that there should be no respect there. And there's people out there that I feel like that about. But it's I'm not from the respect is earned climate. That's not my deal. That's not what goes on in my life. So it turned out that's, we talked about that for a little bit, and about, the way people have been written out of PEDs over time. And Stonewall is Garner's Travis. When Frank bought Stonewall, the gentleman he bought him from had actually bought Stonewall from Tom Garner. So the dog was known as Stonewall, and that's what he was kept. And I kind of see Tom Garner's point. You know, one time in a group he posted about how does he keep getting rode out of these peds, and you know, at the time I responded the same way you write people out, because he has dogs that he puts his name on that other people produced, and maybe that's the deal they made. I don't know. Certainly I did, we don't go outside our yard very often, but we went outside our yard to breed to Lion Pride Kennel Snake, also known as Dirty, and it was a pup deal. And so when I sent the pup to the gentleman to pay that debt off, and the papers that went in with it, I signed where the breeder to give him the opportunity to put his name on that puppy, because it was his dog that produced that puppy. Now the rest of those dogs that left, and we've got a couple still at home, but the rest of them dogs that left, I didn't sign that. And there's a gentleman overseas that forged my name on paperwork, and I don't mess with him anymore. He's a lowlife to me. He gets zero respect. It's just the way it is. So it's just an interesting subject, because it applies so much to us, and how history changes names. And you know, one guy, we did a breeding, and I asked people what they wanted their dogs named, and I put their names on the dogs. And this guy actually calls his name of his dog the name that somebody else has as a registered name. So there's a litter that has two dogs if you look at the pedigree, the Peds Online pedigree, there's two dogs with the same name out of the same litter. So it's down in the future, somebody's going to look at some stuff and think it's fake, it's bullshit, and really it's just a trifling dude who is trying to fool the public. You know, he had sold the puppy that I sold him as a dog. He had it sold to a gentleman in South America for 25 grand. And the guy got a hold of me and asked if that was the dog, and I said, that dog is in Alabama, because it had a different name on it. That's when I found out. And so no, it's not the dog. And he ended up losing out on his sale. The guy was gonna give him 25 grand for a dog, and all I can say is it must be a pretty good dog. But that whole litter came out really, really good. That's why we repeated it. It's White Diamondback to Packwood. We got pups coming off of that. So, you know, just food for thought. Something about, you know, if you're thinking about making a pedigree, you do your pedigrees online. You purchased the dog. You didn't purchase the name of the dog. You didn't purchase the right to name the dog whatever you wanted in an official capacity, unless the breeder signed that right over to you. Otherwise, you ought to give the breeder, the man that produced or woman that produced that dog, the proper respect, and call the dog or put their name in front of the dog anyway. You can still put yours. You can put their name in parentheses. You can put your name in parentheses. You can put the call name with your name. The registered name is their name. It just, it's something that I will never understand, and it's something that I feel strongly about. But it's again, it's absolutely, I don't know if you heard, you probably did, the thunder and all that. This is that northern storm we're getting, and then it's supposed to push through today, and then tomorrow we get the hurricane range. So it's supposed to be a rainy couple days here, like a lot of the country. But anyway, hope you all have a great day. Thanks for taking the time out of your life to watch this, and we'll talk to you later.